Council held here at Clear Lake City Hall, Council Chambers at 14050 Olympic Drive in Clear Lake, California. I'd like to call a meeting to order at 6 p.m. December 4th, 2025. Madam Clerk, may we have a roll call?
Councilmember Wilson,
Present.
Councilmember Hooton,
Here.
Councilmember Downey,
Here.
Vice Mayor Slotin,
Here.
and Mayor Kramer.
Here. Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and then remain after that for the invocation. Councilmember Wilson, would you please lead us? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic and one nation. Yeah, at this time, I'd like to call Pastor Gravison up, who is already coming up, to give us our prayer.
Once again, it's good to see y'all. I'd like to think I'm back by popular demand, but too much of a good thing. So let's pray. Heavenly Father, as we join together in this place, we ask your blessing upon our elected leaders. We are grateful for their willingness to serve the city of Clear Lake. We ask you, give them wisdom and insight as they go about their duties. We also ask you your strength and your patience as they discuss the various issues of our city. Even when there's disagreement, Father, please give them all a unifying desire to strive for what is truly best for Clear Lake. Lord, we recognize the passing of Carl Webb. We thank you that Carl was a longtime public servant with the Lake County Sheriff, with the Clear Lake City Planning Commission, and the Clear Lake Rotary Club. We ask your comfort upon his family at this time. Finally, we ask your blessing upon our city during this holiday season. It is a time of celebration with friends and family, but it can also be a time when loss and loneliness are most keenly felt. We lift up those in our city who are hurting, who may have lost a loved one or a marriage, those who are struggling with homelessness. Let the members of our community who have much, Lord, feel the presence of your Holy Spirit to be generous to those who have less or have nothing. And help us all to understand the truth of the message of the child in the manger. We thank you for your many blessings, Lord, and we ask it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Please sit down. Pastor Gravison talked about Carl Webb. I want to go a little further with that. Carl was a longtime servant in this county, in this city. In addition to his work with the Sheriff's Department, he also served our country with the Marine Corps. While he was in the Lake County Sheriff's Office, one of the things he did at one point as he was jail commanded, he helped design and he oversaw the construction of the new jail, which is a big deal. He was a longtime planning commissioner. He was a mentor to many of us. He was a mentor to me, I think, to Vice Mayor Slotin, and he may speak to that if he wants to. As he said, Carl was probably the reason that we're both on council today. He was that mentor in public service. He convinced me, I know, to join Rotary to begin with. And then, like I said, to run for council commissioner and then council later on. Carl was always the voice of reason. He never raised his voice, but he always felt badly as if you were letting him down if you didn't do what he was asking you to do. I took his suggestions very seriously. I'll miss him. I'll miss him a lot. And I'd like to dedicate tonight's meeting to Carl's memory. That's all I have on that. Eric, would you like?
At one point in time, when I first started living here more for full time, I stopped by at Carl's house because he had a sign on the door, a support a street measure. But that one didn't pass. But he, again, just like Mayor Kramer, he invited me to come to Rotary, and and the rest is kind of history. So if I did something wrong, you could actually blame Carl. No, he was an example for all of us how to serve this community. Don't thank him. He will be missed.
Okay, thank you. Now on to the meeting, meeting procedures. As I read every week, shall read again. So for those that may have not remembered what I said last week or 2 weeks ago. All items on the agenda will be seen and will be open for public comments before final action is taken. Citizens wishing to introduce written material into the record at the public meeting on any item are requested to provide a copy of the written material to the Administrative Services Director, City Clerk, prior to the meeting date, so the material may be distributed to the City Council prior to the meeting. Speakers must restrict comments to the item as it appears on the agenda and stay within a 3-minute time period. That is my discretion to limit that discussion time or give a little bit extra as it warrants. Council cannot answer questions of public or provide comment while a citizen is giving their public comment. Once your comments are complete, the mayor may refer you to staff for follow-up. If you're on the Zoom meeting, please note that only written comments will be taken via Zoom using the Q&A chat feature. So please enter your comment on the Q&A chat. All right. Adopting the agenda. There is one item that we've added, and I'm going to mention it now. It'll come. It's a presentation that will happen after our proclamation that will be read by Councilmember Wilson. The other one will be Chief Hobbs will be making that presentation when we get to it. So begin with it. City Manager Flora, are there any modifications to the agenda?
No modifications, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. May I have a motion and a second to adopt the agenda?
I'll move that we approve the agenda as presented.
Motion's been made by Vice Mayor Slotin
I'll second that.
and seconded by Councilmember Downey. Please vote in your portal.
Motion passes with unanimous vote of the council.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We'll now move on to presentations. The first presentation of a proclamation declaring December 18th, 2025 as National Persons Experiencing Homelessness Memorial Day. Councilmember Wilson is asked to make this presentation. I will turn it over to you. If you'd like to go with that, that'd be great.
Whereas extreme weather poses extreme hardship for the unsheltered and inadequately housed low-income individuals, men, women, and children in the city of Clear Lake. And whereas the spirit of the holiday season of giving provides an opportunity for affirmation and renewal regarding our commitment to mitigate and end homelessness. And whereas the National Coalition for the Homeless and the National Healthcare for the Homeless Council have designated December 21st, 2025 as National Homeless Persons Memorial Day. And whereas homelessness continues to be a serious challenge for many Clear Lake residents who have the right to adequate food, housing, clothing, safety, and healthcare. And whereas in honor of those who have died due to unsheltered homelessness. The cause of ending homelessness is kept urgent in the city's collective commitment to preventing such deaths in the future. And whereas by joining together and remembering our neighbors, we can honor their lives by working to provide solutions to end homelessness within our community. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Clear Lake City Council that December 18th, 2025, we join others across the nation for National Persons Experiencing Homelessness Memorial Day, and hereby name Compassion in the Cold, a community invitation to remember those who have died while experiencing homelessness and to encourage citizens to come together at the Hope Center, 3400 Emerson, from 4 o'clock to 8 p.m. to celebrate their memory and address the factors that lead to homelessness. This is dated this, the 4th day of December, 2025, and signed by the Mayor, Russell Kramer. And I understand there's people that are going to come up and accept this. And you may.
Thank you. On behalf of the Compassion in the Cold Planning Committee and Adventist Health, we'd like to thank the City of Clear Lake for your continuous support of ending homelessness in Lake County. Initiatives and projects like the Hope Center are truly preventative to losing lives lost to homelessness, and we want to thank you for that continuous support. We also want to thank Adventist Health for their continuous support in providing the resources for this event for the past 3 years. And a special thank you to the COC and all of the partner agencies around the lake that came together this year to plan this event. And we invite all of you to come December 18th as we join together for collective community healing and learn more about the causes of what causes homelessness at Hope Center. We invite all of you and everyone in the community to come join us in a meal. We'll be providing hot chili and warm beverages, and there will also be warming supplies for our people, our neighbors experiencing homelessness in Lake County. We're continuing to accept donations at Hope Center, such as jackets, shoes, blankets for those experiencing homelessness. And we truly thank you. This is a really big deal, and we are really grateful. Thank you.
Eric? Next, we have a special presentation tonight by Chief Hobbs. Chief?
Sergeant Flores, can you come up, please? Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. Tonight we'll be doing a promotional ceremony for Sergeant Leonardo Flores. Adolfo, could you come up, please? Adolfo is going to be translating my speech to Spanish, so Leonardo's parents can hear it. Tonight, it's my honor to recognize a well-earned promotion within the Clear Lake Police Department, Police Sergeant Leonardo Flores.
Esta noche es un honor para mí reconocer un ascenso bien merecido dentro del Departamento de Policía al Sargento Leonardo Flores.
Sergeant Flores began his service with the Clear Lake Police Department in May of 2015, and over the last decade has built a reputation of professionalism, strong work ethic, and commitment to the people we serve. Throughout his career, he has taken on a variety of important assignments, including serving as a patrol officer, a field training officer, and later as a detective and a detective corporal. Since 2018, he has been serving our community in the detective capacity, handling complex investigations that require persistence, attention to detail, sound judgment, and one of the most important qualities, compassion.
El Sargento Flores comenzó su servicio en el Departamento de Policía el mayo 2015 y durante la última década ha construido una reputación de profesionalismo, una fuerte ética de trabajo y un compromiso con las personas a las que servimos. A lo largo de su carrera ha asumido varias asignaciones importantes, incluyendo servicio como policía de patrulla, oficial de entrenamiento en el campo y más adelante como detective. En 2018 Desde el 2018 ha estado sirviendo nuestras comunidades en la posición de detectives, manejando investigaciones complejas que requiere complejas perseverancia, atención al detalle y buen juicio y compasión.
On November 23rd, 2025, Sergeant Flores was officially promoted to police sergeant. This promotion reflects not only his experience and performance, but the leadership qualities he has demonstrated over time, leading by example, supporting his peers, and consistently putting service to the community first.
El 23 de noviembre de 2025, el sargento Flores fue ascendido oficialmente a sargento de policía. Este ascenso refleja no solo su experiencia y desempeño, sino también las cualidades de liderazgo que ha demostrado a lo largo de su tiempo aquí. Liderando con el ejemplo, apoyando a sus compañeros y poniendo siempre el servicio en primer lugar.
Beyond his duties at the department, Sergeant Flores also invests in our community in another personal way. Since 2019, he has coached youth and high school football, spending 3 years coaching in Lower Lake and the last 4 years with Kelseyville High School, most recently serving as the head coach for the Kelseyville varsity football team for the last 3 years.
Más allá de sus deberes en el departamento, el sargento Flores también invierte en nuestra comunidad de manera muy personal. Desde el 2019 ha entrenado equipos de fútbol americano juvenil de preparatoria, pasado 3 años entrenando en Lower Lake y los últimos 4 años en Kelseyville, desempeñándose recientemente como entrenador principal del equipo de varsity durante los últimos 3 años.
Sergeant Flores, congratulations on this achievement. We're proud of you. We appreciate the service you've already given to the city, and we look forward to the leadership you will provide to the city in the future.
Sargento Flores, te felicitamos por este logro. Estamos orgullosos de ti. Apreciamos el servicio que has brindado a esta ciudad y esperamos con ansias de liderazgo y proposición que vas a poner en el cargo.
Now we'll do the swearing in real quick.
As soon as he gets his badge pinned on, we're gonna take a 5-minute break to allow for photographs. Take a 5-minute break now. Okay, we'll come back to order now at 6:25. And the next thing on our agenda is public comment. This is the time for any member of the public to address the city council on any matter not on the agenda that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city. The Brown Act, with limited exceptions, does not allow council or staff to discuss issues brought forth under public comment. Council cannot take action on non-agenda items. Concerns may be referred to staff or placed on a future agenda. Please note that comments from the public will also be taken on each agenda item. So if you have something that fits under an agenda item, wait for that. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes per person. Council cannot answer questions or provide comment while a citizen is giving public comment. Once your comments are complete, I may refer you to staff or for follow-up. All right, I have one written request for comment. I am going to do that first. Bunny Carter.
Hi, my name is Bunny Carter, and I am commenting about my brother's property at 13535. But I can. Santa Clara Avenue. I was told that, or I got a letter from the city that you cleaned it up by Cherno. I owe $4,000. I know that I owe it, but I just paid 5 years of taxes that my girlfriend's or my brother's girlfriend.
Mr. Mayor,
Is this on our agenda?
this is on our agenda. It's probably,
This is an agenda item, Bunny, so you can come back up at that time.
Okay, thank
Right,
you.
yeah, okay. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to make a public comment? Okay, seeing none. Is there anyone on Zoom?
There are no comments on the Zoom, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We'll now move on to the consent agenda. You know that all items listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine in nature and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a member of the council requests otherwise, or if staff has requested a change under adoption of the agenda, in which case item will be removed for separate consideration. Any item so removed will be taken up following the motion to approve the consent agenda. Are there any items? There's only one anyway that needs to be removed. Okay, then I shall take a motion.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second it.
There's been a motion made by Council Member Downey and seconded by Council Member Wilson. Please vote in your. Oh, I'm sorry, was it him? I didn't look. At any rate, second is made by Council Member Hooten. Again, please vote.
Motion passes with unanimous vote of the council.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Now move on to item number 3, public hearing. To confirm assessments in the total amount of $386,512.53 for 27 unpaid Cal Recycle grant funded abatements in accordance with the Clear Lake Municipal Code, Chapter 10. City Manager Flora.
Lieutenant Peterson will present the staff report.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council. To note real quick, there are 2 properties. On the resolution, their amounts needed to be readjusted, and the new resolution that I submitted has the corrected numbers. That's 16272 32nd Avenue and 13790 Sonoma Avenue.
Could you repeat that slowly?
two of the properties,
Just the numbers, please.
16272 32nd Avenue and 13790 Sonoma Avenue.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
This is in regard to the Calvary Cycle Abatement Cost Recovery and Lien Assessment Hearing. Brief history. Code enforcement applied for a Calvary Cycle grant for the demolition and abate of real properties back in January of 2024. In the summer, we were awarded the grant in the amount of $477,469. In February 2025, we began abatement of round one properties after order to abate appeal hearings were held. Notice inviting bids was conducted and awarding of the bid. June of 2025, we began abatement of round two properties after order to abate appeal hearings were held. Same with those inviting bids was conducted and awarding of the bid. In October of this year, round one and two abatements were completed. As part of the Calvary Cycle grant, there's cost recovery requirements. Calvary Cycle requires the city to pursue reimbursement for abatement work when public funds are used. Liens shall be recorded as a special assessment to secure repayment when cleanup occurs due to noncompliance or lack of voluntary action. The lien does not require immediate payment, but ensures reimbursement upon sale, refinance, or transfer of the property. Cost recovery preserves grant funding, protects taxpayers, and reinforces that public grants are not a substitute for private responsibility. Purpose of the hearing is to hear and act upon any and all protests and proposed assessments on real properties. You can grant the protest or revise a resolution to remove the assessments or deny the protest and confirm the assessments as proposed. And then this slide just shows a list of the 27 properties that were from round one and round two of the grant abatements. And then the recommended action is to deny the protest, confirm the assessment as proposed. That's the end of the presentation.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions from staff, council for staff? No questions? All right. It's time for public comment. Again, the council cannot answer the can't answer questions or provide comment while a citizen is giving their public comment. Once your comments are complete, the mayor, I may refer you to staff for follow-up. I'll now open the public hearing. Is there anyone in the chambers who wishes to comment on this item? We'll start with Mrs. Carter.
Okay, this is about the property at 13535 Santa Clara Avenue. This is my brother's property. He lived in the house for 41 years. He passed away 5 years ago. I have had problems with homeless. I've asked the city for help. This is the help I got. A red tag, and then they brought Cherno in to clean it up. I have been going to the city for help. I've asked the police for help because she was being taken over. The girlfriend was being taken over by the homeless people. They totally ruined his property. And then I had a quote that I was going to have it cleaned up, and the city came in and did Chernos. So it doubled the price of the money. I understand I owe it, but I just paid off 5 years of taxes that she hasn't paid. I'm trying to keep this property for my brother's sake. She doesn't care. All she cares about is being drugged up, drunk. And I'm trying to get her to understand that I paid the house off. I paid the taxes for 5 years. And now I got this bill from the city for $4,000. All I'm asking, I know that you guys want your money. All I'm asking is that you guys give me a couple of months to come up with the money, because I have put out so much for this house, and She doesn't care. All she cares about is her drugs and her alcohol. So I called the police to help me. I called the city, and this is what I got when I called the city, a red tag. And then they put this bill on, or they're saying that I owe this much for the cleanup. I had somebody that was going to come in and clean it up for half the price. And you guys came in and cleaned it up before he could get there. So I am asking to give me a couple of months before you put it on a lien, because I'm really trying to save my brother's house. I mean, he literally lived in it for 41 years. And I need to keep that house in our family. So,
City Manager Flora, can you?
Well, yeah, I would like to address, our recommendation, of course, is to still move forward and put the liens on the property. I mean, it's a requirement of this money. If we were not to put a lien on the property, the general fund would have to cover the cost of that abatement, which we wouldn't want to do. But, I think going ahead and moving forward with the liens doesn't preclude Bunny from doing what she wants. I mean, the lien doesn't accrue interest. It's recorded on the property. You can come in anytime and pay that lien off. And once it's paid, we'll release the lien from the property. So it's one way for us to secure and ensure that it gets paid eventually. If that makes sense.
Do you understand it? Bunny?
yes, I do.
So we're not gonna sell it out from under you, but we do have to put the lien on.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you for your comments.
Yeah, and just to follow up on your comment, I mean, having the lien on the property doesn't give us the right to sell it. It's not our property. I mean, we could foreclose on the lien, but that's a whole nother process with a number of notices.
Caregiver and got the homeless back in there. The people are up there taking her money. She has no idea how to do money. And I'm trying to pay her bills, and my brother paid her bills because she has no concept of money. Her homeless person went down to Arizona and sold her mother's house, lived down there for 2 years,
Yeah,
and then came back, and now he's up there and she fired her caregiver.
I understand your anger, Bunny. That's beyond the scope of what we can do. That's something that I think,
Oh, I've been fighting it.
yeah, well,
And social services finally realizing that I'm the one who is telling the truth, and they're helping me now.
well, good. Hopefully they'll help you resolve it. So thank you though for your comments. Other public comments? Come on up.
I am Leanne Watson. I am the owner of 16140. I received this as my mom passed away, my dad passed away, and this was my inheritance. And we were working on cleaning everything up, doing everything. And every turn we made was hindered by something else. We were cleaning it and the power was turned off for no reason. They took our generators with no reason to. They were our generators. We were working on it diligently, trying to get it all done. And they brought in everybody and their brother to come clean it. Well, they took things that weren't supposed to even be demolished. They, one specific place was supposed to have been left alone. They emptied it, took everything out of it and demolished it too. It was my father's shop. I'm asking for some time to get this all figured out because I've never owned the property. I've helped my mom with it, but that's as far as it's gone. All this is all new to me. I'm trying to figure it all out. There's so many things that have thrown wrenches in my way. I can't get it done by myself. I'm disabled. I'm doing my best. I had everybody and their brother coming up helping. We did 90% of what they asked us to do, and then they throw something else in. So I'm asking for some time to get this figured out, and I would appreciate it
Thank you for your,
for them to come up with a price of 66,000 and they want it in a month was ridiculous. I can't come up with that. My inheritance was the property. That's it. I'm living day to day on my social security because I'm disabled. But I got nothing. I'm trying to do my best. I'm raising 2 children. I'm doing my best. So I would appreciate some help of some time and some acknowledgement, or not keep throwing wrenches at me. I keep getting more things from the city that there's more fines that they're fining me for. I have no idea what they're doing because they've sent it to the same address. There's nothing up there. So I appreciate some help.
thank you for your comments. City manager, do you have some?
Well, yeah, a few comments on this one in particular. Again, the same situation applies. This isn't an opportunity to relitigate the code enforcement cases. These abatements were done with an order of the court. This particular property was the most expensive with the largest amount of violations of any of the ones that were done. Unfortunately, the property again has a number of violations as were mentioned with illegally occupied RVs and a number of problems. So again, you know, we've had people asking for more time, moving forward with the liens. Folks still have all the time in the future in order to bring money forward to get the liens released.
So the same answer as with Ms. Carter. The lien is a lien on it. That doesn't mean that you're gonna come in tomorrow morning and take the property. So you do have time to try to clean up, try to do the things you were just talking about.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Thank you. Are there any other comments? Public?
No, I'm.
Buenas tardes. No hablo inglés. Mi nombre es Eduardo César Bobadilla y vivo en la 16721. Bueno, la propiedad por la que estamos aquí es 16721 Cache Creek Drive Line.
Good evening. I don't speak English very well. My name is Eduardo Cesar Bobadilla. I live on 16721 Cache Creek Lane, Clear Lake, California.
Estoy aquí porque me llegó una hoja que tengo que pagar. Quiero comentar que yo compré esa propiedad, traté de comprar esa propiedad. Cuando yo enfermé de COVID, ya no pude pagarla. Perdí mi negocio, yo casi muero. Y quise llegar a un arreglo con el que me vendió la propiedad y ya nunca me contestó.
I'm here because this letter that I have to pay, I received it. I tried to purchase this land years ago. I got sick from COVID and I'm unable to communicate with the woman who is selling me this land.
Entonces, yo quise llegar a un arreglo con él y se salió de contrato. Ya no pude, no me contestó. La dueña que me vendió la propiedad murió y ya no pude comunicarme con ella. Entonces, tuve que agarrar y hacerme cargo del mantenimiento de la propiedad, pero este hombre dijo que se la regresara y nunca se la ha regresado.
I tried to make an agreement with them. Then the woman died. The gentleman told me I wasn't able to communicate with them. Then the gentleman told me that they returned the property.
Y tuve que ir a American Title para agarrar un número que ellos me dieron y se llama Jorge Tedasky, el hijo de la dueña, y hablé con él y me dijo que me iba a mandar los papeles para darle la propiedad y ya no contesta. Entonces yo tengo 5 años que yo no pago esa propiedad.
I went to American Title Company. George Tedeschi told me, perdón, no agarré, fue muy largo.
Hablé con American Title y le dije que yo quería información quién el dueño de la propiedad, el que me financió a mí la propiedad, que me vendió la propiedad, y me dijo que era Jorge Tedasky. Entonces ellos consiguieron un número, quise hablar con Jorge Tedasky y me dijo que me iba a mandar los papeles para que él se tuviera para atrás la propiedad, y nunca me ha hablado. Incluso antes de venir para acá yo quise hablar con él y me dijo que no le importaba.
When I went to American Title Company to find who was on record for the owner of this property, they told me it was Jorge Tedeschi. I communicated with him. He told me he would send me the paperwork. Then he did not send me the paperwork.
Y American Title me dio ese papel que le entregué a la señorita que necesitaba yo, no sé cómo se llama, el que está en el sticker amarillo. Que tenía que mandarme ese papel. ¿Le puedo mostrar?
Ya lo tengo.
Oh.
No, I don't get it. I don't understand. Perdón, ¿me puede repetir, pero más corto?
Yo fui a cuando fui a American Title, me dieron el nombre de Tedasky, el que aparece ahí,
Okay,
de
no,
Jorge
no haga-
Tedasky.
señor. Jorge le dijo a usted que iba a mandar el papeleo, ¿cierto?
Cierto.
¿Usted cree que es dueño usted de la propiedad o Jorge?
Jorge, yo no he pagado el link por 5 años. Él me dijo que me lo iba a quitar. Él me vendió la propiedad. Yo la compré la quise comprar, yo nunca la pagué. Lo siento. Sorry.
No se preocupe. Give me this. Así que parece que nunca fue cambiada el dueño de la propiedad.
Exacto.
Entonces es usted.
Pero yo quise venderla y en American Title me dijeron que yo no la puedo vender porque está el link de Verónica Tedasky.
Okay. I went to American Title Company to sell this property and they told me they would not, that I could not, because there was this lien that belongs to Veronica Tedeschi against the property.
So if someone could clarify, is there an existing lien on the
Entonces
property?
existe otra derecho de retención en contra del hogar o es esta?
Es esa.
It's this one.
Well, this one hasn't been recorded yet.
Pero Verónica, o sea, aparece en American Title que ellos tienen el título, o sea, ellos son el título.
El manager de la ciudad dijo que esto no ha sido registrado con el condado todavía.
Entonces yo quise, cuando pasó todo ese problema que vandalizaron la propiedad, yo quise meter unas casas nuevas.
When this problem happened that the property was vandalized, I wanted to put new homes. Sigue.
Las mobile homes. Y me dijeron que yo no podía hacerlo porque yo no soy el dueño, porque aparece American Tedaschi y George Tedaschi.
And
en
I was told
American
I
Title.
couldn't do this because other people appeared on the title. Veronica and George, Adrian Tedeschi. Sigue.
Entonces, ya no pude hacer nada. Yo quise, ellos en American Title me dieron ese número de teléfono, ahí me mandaron a otro número y ya me contestó él. Y me dijo que me iba a mandar unos papeles y yo le dije que estaba yo en American Title y American Title me dijo, tiene que mandarte estos papeles como de foreclosure, que es el papel amarillo que me escribió ahí la señorita de American Title. Para recuperar la propiedad de él.
Senor, I think we need to have some clarification on what your objection is.
Tenemos que obtener más clarificación de cuál es su objeción en esta audiencia.
Que no sé qué hacer.
I don't know what to do.
Well, what,
Um,
so the purpose of this is to hear what his objection is to the validity of filing this lien. And it's limited to essentially notice whether he was properly notified.
El-
So
El propósito de esta audiencia es para escuchar su objeción a este derecho de retención que ya ha sido puesto en contra de la propiedad suya. Queremos escuchar qué es su objeción.
¿Cómo lo puedo pagar? O sea, no sé qué hacer. Si yo la pago, la puedo vender, no sé qué hacer. O sea, es que no sé qué hacer. No tengo dinero para un abogado. No sé qué hacer. He pedido muchas ayudas. Me he ido al college ahí y he buscado muchas puertas. No sé qué hacer porque el dueño sigue apareciendo, Jorge Tedaschi y Verónica Tedaschi.
Un momento. I don't know what to do at this time. I don't have money for a lawyer to fight this. I've gone everywhere for help and I don't know what I can do because when I go to American Title Company, they tell me that the owners are Veronica and Jorge Adrian Tedeschi.
okay.
okay,
Mr. Mayor, in my opinion, he's been given a fair opportunity to state his objection, and we can close public comment.
Yeah. This purpose of this is to decide whether to put a lien on your property, on the property that's in question. It won't resulting in any action as far as trying to take the property. It's a procedure. Now, you will have time to try to work this out. I don't think this is something that this council can do anything with. So I'm going to instruct you that there's nothing more that we can do here, but the lien we'll vote on putting the lien on. And that will give you time to continue with what you're trying to do to resolve the problem through American Title and whoever else you're working with. Okay. Can you tell him that with?
En este momento van a decidir si sí o si no van a poner el derecho de retención en contra de su propiedad, porque el propósito de esta audiencia es para avisarle y tomar la decisión que la ciudad está poniendo este gravamen, derecho de retención en contra de su hogar para recuperar los gastos de la limpieza que tuvieron que hacer para poner en orden la propiedad con las reglas del código de la municipalidad.
Sí, es esto. Gracias.
Right. De nada.
Siento un momento.
Are there any other comments from the public? Are there any comments on Zoom?
There are no comments on the Zoom, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Are there any comments from the council before deliberation, before we close the public hearing? No comments? Okay, we'll now close the public hearing. I'll take a motion.
Is this the
Are,
right one?
are you looking to make a motion or? Are you ready to make a motion or did you want to go back to deliberation?
No, my Dirk's.
Okay.
I moved that we approve resolution 2025-40, a resolution of the city council of the city of Clear Lake providing and confirming the report of delinquent abatement costs as special assessments and requesting the county of Lake to collect such charges on the tax roll.
Motion's been made by Vice Mayor Slotin,
I'll second it.
a second by Council Member Wilson. Please vote in your portal.
Motion passes with unanimous vote of the council.
Thank you. Madam Clerk. Okay, we'll now move on to the second item, item 4. To confirm the assessment in the total amount of $2,250 for an unpaid city-funded abatement located at 3050 10th Avenue, 10th Street, excuse me, in accordance with the Clear Lake Municipal Code, Chapter 10. City Manager Flora.
Lieutenant Peterson will present the staff report.
Mr. Mayor, Council, this is for 3050 10th Street abatement cost recovery lien assessment hearing. On August, in August of 2022, code enforcement case was opened on the property due to citizen complaint. Numerous attempts to get the violations corrected have been done, including issuing of citations with no compliance. January 30th, abatement warrants were executed after inspection to abate violations, which resulted in the costs. Why special assessment for the cost recovery? To recover public funds spent to address blight or health and safety violations when voluntary compliance was not achieved. To ensure the responsible property owner, not taxpayer, bear the cost of the cleanup. To secure repayment when immediate reimbursement is not made. To allow the city to recover costs upon sale, refinance, or transfer the property. And to reinforce accountability and support ongoing abatement efforts. So the purpose of this hearing is act upon any and all protests of proposed assessment on the real property, grant the protest and revise the resolution to remove the assessments or deny the protests and confirm the assessments as proposed. And again, the property is 3050 10th Street, City of Clear Lake, California, 95422. The recommended action is to deny the protest and confirm the assessments as end of report.
Okay. It's now time for public comments. Council cannot answer the questions or provide comment while a citizen is giving their public comment. Only your comments are, once the comments are complete, I may refer you to staff for follow-up. I will now open the public hearing. Is there anyone in the chambers who wishes to comment on this item? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, are there any on Zoom?
There are no comments on the Zoom, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Are there any comments from council for deliberation on the item? Seeing none, I'll now close the public hearing. And I will now take a motion on this subject, on this item. Anybody? Councilmember Down?
I move to deny the protest and confirm the assessment as proposed for property located at 3050 10th Street in accordance with Clear Lake Municipal Code, Chapter 10.
Thank you. Motion's been made by Councilmember Lee. For a second.
I'll second it.
Second has been made by Councilmember Hooten. Please vote in your portal.
Motion passes with unanimous vote of the council.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We'll now move on to business items. Item number 5, introduction and first reading of an ordinance amending section 13-3 of the Clear Lake Municipal Code regarding the fire hydrant inspection, testing and maintenance. City Manager Flora.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, council members. So you'll recall, we talked about this at the last council meeting. Per your direction, we brought this back for a first reading. I'll give a little bit of an update on what has happened since then. We hadn't gotten comments back from all of the water companies at that time. We have had communication with all of them at this point. And so I do want to point out that the version that was provided initially with the agenda, version 4, today, I made a couple of adjustments that were an attempt to be responsive to some of the questions that were raised. So I'd like to kind of go over those briefly. The highlighted areas there. There's 2 sections. I'm going to put it up on the screen just for the benefit of the public, but maybe what I'll do first is just kind of go through comments from the 3 water purveyors. So starting with Canocti County Water District, there was concern about this section in the purpose that was added, some language related to private water systems. And so went back and looked at that, and the language was just a little bit clunky there. And so what is highlighted is a slight revision to that. It's not intended to distinguish that one of the water districts has a private water system or anything like that, but just to clarify that we have 3 water systems that have different sort of organizational structures, but are all considered public systems. But there could be a homeowners association or a mobile home park or something that has a separate system that they own and maintain, and those systems would also be regulated by this ordinance. The other comment, and we have Mr. Costner here, so I'm sure you probably will want to make some comments as well, is related to, they believe it's a little excessive on the general maintenance of the hydrants to be done annually. And maybe they should have a little bit more time to do that. We went back and looked at all the standards. Of course, I talked to Mr. Roscoe. Our recommendation is still that the maintenance, which is just essentially operating the hydrants, making sure things aren't broken each year, that doesn't include the fire flow testing part of it, is the industry standard, and that should remain in the ordinance. Highlands Water Company received confirmation from them that they are okay with the ordinance. The only thing that they were questioning, we talked a little bit about the D2 versus D3. Operator being okay to do the flow testing, as long as it says D2, which this version does, they are okay with the ordinance. And then Golden State, they still believe that their regulation under the California Public Utilities Commission sort of preempts our ability to regulate what they do. We've reviewed that a number of times and don't agree with that legal analysis. But in spite of that, they still have stated a number of times that it's their intent to comply with the ordinance. They understand what the city's looking for. In fact, they appreciate the fact that we gave them an opportunity to review and provide comments on the ordinance. It was stated by their general manager that he's not really aware of another jurisdiction that would have given them that opportunity. So they're appreciative of that. And then, just underlining that we serve the same people. They want the water system to be, high functioning. And so it's their intent to do what they can to comply. Now, they did ask to provide, or us to sort of add some language that would give them sort of special exception that what they already submit to the Public Utilities Commission is acceptable, even if it doesn't meet the standards in the ordinance. We went through that request and believe that the water modeling option that we've added in there is really what the recommendation should be, but I did let them know that we'd be willing to, of course, continue the conversation with them if there is another way to accommodate their concerns, and they're appreciative of that. So that's the kind of the comments. So I mentioned this one already. If you scroll down a little bit, there was this section here, which is talking about if you have a calibrated water model, it's kind of some technical language that we had talking about requiring a predictive target of 10% of field measured flow tests. And then that be approved by registered civil engineer. That 10% target, you know, there may be some other options to meet that depending on the situation. And so I added the language of a target instead of actually requiring the 10%. So as long as, you know, maybe it's 12%, but the civil engineer is still willing to stamp off on those tests, that we should be willing to accept that. So those are kind of the things that I wanted to go over, and of course would be happy to address any additional questions the council has.
Thank you, City Manager. Have any questions for Councilmember Downey?
So you mentioned the testing every year. I'm reading in here, did you change it to every 5 years?
Well, so there's two different things. One, the maintenance of the hydrants is required every year. That's with the National Fire Protection Association standard. The flow testing is something that has to be done every 5 years. So there's two different things, but the standard is still that you, and we could have Mr. Roscoe come up and he could give you, of course, all the technical details on that, but essentially inspect and operate the hydrant, make sure it works, but you don't have to do the fire flow testing each time.
That's kind of sometimes referred to as exercising the hydrant. Or...
Yeah, and I mean, you grease the thing and make sure, General Manager of Highlands let me know that when they did, and they've completed all their testing, as you know, but they found 2 hydrants that they could barely open. And so they went ahead and replaced them. But, you know, if you have that annual inspection, you'll be able to catch those things before there's a fire on the street and you need to use it for real.
Any questions, other council? Okay. We'll open it up for public comment. Mr. Haas?
Good evening, council, city manager, staff. Thank you for having me today. Sorry I missed the last meeting. I was.
State your name for the record.
My name is Frank Costner. I'm the general manager of Conocta County Water District. And I was on vacation, first real vacation in 5 years. So I hope that you could excuse my absence at the last meeting. Thank you, Alan, for the taking into consideration my comments. The one about the private system, that definitely was a concern of mine, and I appreciate that. I just wanted to start off with saying that my opinion still hasn't changed from last year when I was here speaking before the city council about the ordinance, that I believe that the city does not have the authorization to mandate how we operate facilities owned and operated and maintained by the water district. That being said, I can appreciate the common sense changes that were made to the ordinance. And with the testing that we've already completed of the fire hydrants, we have shown that the hydrants actually flow more than we originally shown when we did our previous testing. And also that when you test at the 20 PSI, you get a larger number. So all of those numbers of the hydrants that were 800 or whatever gallons per minute, they're gonna be well above 1,000 gallons a minute now. So I do want to say that I appreciate Alan's working with the water districts to get the D2 operator able to do the maintenance and the fire flow testing. We wouldn't have paid an outside agency to do the fire flow testing. So we're complying with the ordinance at this time because we're just really want to prove to our public that we are operating a reliable water system and that the hydrants, there's been a lot of talk, you know, a lot of misconceptions put out there about our system that, you know, we didn't have enough pressure in the flow. And so I just really wanted to assure the public that we do have adequate pressure, adequate flow. Our hydrants are well maintained. Our water system is well maintained. And I always like to say, people probably get tired of hearing about it, but over the past 5 years, we've invested $18 million into our water system. Currently, our intertie connections are now complete and they're active. So we have 3 interties, 2 with Highlands and 1 with Lower Lake that can produce 400 to 500 gallons a minute. That was a $6.5 million project that is now complete and operational. So we believe with the upgrades that we've done over the past 5 years that we've made our water system more reliable and able to fight fires much better than before. But still, I do believe it is an overreach of a local government to enact this ordinance. That's my opinion. Thank you for listening, and that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Costner. Are there any other comments from the public? Okay, seeing none, are there any on Zoom?
There are no comments on the Zoom, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. All right. All right, I'm getting lost here. I guess it's time for deliberation. Does anybody have anything they want to say before we?
I do. I
Mayor Slotin?
started originally asking questions about fire flow. I got data from all 3 water districts. And the data that I had at that time was that we have a problem here. And that's why I started looking into this. I'm happy to see that Highlands has performed their flow testing to a large degree and found out that their flows are actually better than originally the data shows. So that's awesome. That's all I wanted. Same thing with Golden State. The flows that they now produce are higher than I originally stated. I just wanted to make sure that we had accurate data so the fire department can rely on fire flows when they are trying to deal with a fire. I mean, we don't have to go to dip in the lake every time we have a fire someplace and use helicopters to fight a fire. So I'm elated that fire flows that are now being recorded are higher than originally was thought and the data that we originally had. So it's great. I think it's a great thing. And we've come a long ways. And thank you, the fire flow testing that was done. And I thank you for doing this because it makes me feel safer for the city. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Vice Mayor. I think we've come a long ways as well, Mr. Costner. I appreciate your comments. Not sure I agree with the one comment, but I appreciate the fact that it sounds as if you've been doing the testing, been exercising your hydrants, and you have. I would hope that you have a lot more confidence in their ability just because of the exercise you've done. And I do appreciate that you're going to go along with the city ordinance, even if you're not totally in agreement with it. So having said that, I will take a motion.
I move that we Approve ordinance 284 2025, an ordinance of the city of Clear Lake, California, amending chapter 13 of the Clear Lake Municipal Code relating to fire hydrants inspection, testing and maintenance.
Motion has been made by Vice Mayor Slotin,
I will second it.
seconded by Councilmember Wilson. Please vote in your portal.
Motion passes with unanimous vote of the council.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
I'm sure Mr. Roscoe's a little disappointed he drove over here and you didn't ask him any technical questions.
Would you like to get up and speak, Mr. Rob?
Rob Roscoe, I've been working with your city manager for a while on the fire issues and the water supply issues for the city. And I absolutely agree with the comments. I think we've come a long ways in the last year. We're in a much better place now than we were a year ago as far as cooperation and the coordination now between the city and the water purveyors that serve the city. I think the communication lines are now open and that's a very good thing. I'd like to thank also the managers of the three water systems. They've really gone, I think, above and beyond to address these issues and show that they're running the systems that they're supposed to be run. I think it's a much better place now that the city's is in than they were just a year ago. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I agree wholeheartedly. We will now move on to item number 6. Discussion and consideration of updates to the city strategic plan. For Flora.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, council members. So we didn't plan a big presentation on this. We had a workshop. Well, I go back. We had a special meeting, council retreat on August 6th to review the existing city strategic plan, the council made some updates to the goals. And then we later had a workshop at the September 18th council meeting to kind of update some of those goals and priorities. That document that came out of that is attached here. And then the thing that we've been working on since that time was just the action plan with some timelines, responsible folks and so forth. So our leadership team went through that and did a workshop with Ms. Nicholson on November 14th. And that's what you see there in the packet. So she is available online or on Zoom if you have any questions for her. And of course, I'll be able to address any other questions you may have on either the goals that maybe we missed something or the action plan.
Alrighty. Does anybody have any questions for Ms. Nicholson? Any questions of the city manager Flora? Any thoughts on after reading the documents?
Just a comment, very thorough. There are actually deadlines and some things on it, so that's a good thing.
Okay. Councilmember Wilson.
I agree. I'm elated that we have a timeline and a plan to go forward.
All right. Comments, Councilmember Putin? Smiling. Councilmember Downey, you always have a comment.
I think the only thing I have to say is I like what other council members say is that the timeline is great. There's a schedule. Economic development is huge and supporting local businesses. I really like that because it's hard to see businesses go and we like to keep them staying and have more coming. So that's what makes the great city of Clear Lake is the community. So yeah.
Vice Mayor Slotin, you're playing with the.
Yeah. So from now on, if we get an item for the council, there will be reference to this document.
Yeah, we'll once this is adopted, assuming you adopt it, then we'll update the staff reports that show those things. This is a little tweak. Yeah, we'll update all that stuff.
I have a question. Does this also update the general plan a little bit? No? Doesn't touch it. Okay.
No.
This is strictly our
Um,
strategic.
We do have some plans, just so you know, that we've talked about internally about once this is adopted in doing a better job of communicating the goals with the organization and the community. So we have some ideas on that once we move forward.
Okay. Any other comments? So what's our action? Do we have a vote? Go ahead.
Do we,
Well, do we have any public comments? I guess would be the next thing.
we thought,
Mrs. Garcia, come on up. State your name, of course.
Margaret Garcia, City of Clear Lake. I just was wondering, what is the strategic plan? I'm in the dark, and maybe you could just explain briefly what that would be. Thank you.
uh, would that strategic plan be at the counter?
Well, it's not right now, but
will be.
it certainly can be. We could have a copy for Miss Garcia real easy.
But can you put it up on
Yeah.
to get an idea what it looks like?
So quick overview, that there's kind of 6 main categories: economic development, public facilities and infrastructure, celebrating Clear Lake, clean, fiscally sustainable, and then safe. So you go down, each of those is a goal that has various objectives under it, okay? And the council, as Councilmember Downey mentioned, the council was unanimous in making sure that economic development is a high priority. So that was moved to goal number 1. So there's a number of these here. And then the action plan, which is a separate document, is something that we hadn't done with previous versions of the strategic plan. So there's action plans associated with each of the objectives. Sure.
All good stuff.
There's a hard copy, or if you can go into our agenda and find it in there as well.
Yeah, and we'll be, adding it to the website, all that, so.
Yeah. all right. So any other comments? Time for action.
Let's go.
Well, is there any comments on Zoom?
There are no comments on the Zoom, Mr. Mayor.
Do we want to deliberate, or are we ready to take a motion?
Move.
Make your motion.
Go, you do.
I move to approve the consideration of updates to the city's strategic plan.
Motion,
I'll second that.
motion's been made by Council Member Downey and seconded by Vice Mayor Slotin. Please vote in your portal.
Motion passes with unanimous vote of the council.
And a big thanks to Ms. Nicholson for helping us through the process.
Yes, thank you very much for your help on it.
Nice to see everyone. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Nicholson, for that. All righty, city manager and council reports. Council reports, the end of the, or in case we've all forgotten, at the end of the council meeting shall be limited to announcing mayor-appointed regional board activities on which council members serve, city and city-sponsored activities, and items which directly affect the city. We'll start off with Council Manager Flora. We'll be watching you closely.
Okay, just 3 things I was gonna mention. One, I mentioned before, but the algae harvesting project proposed at Redbud Park was funded by the Blue Ribbon Committee. So we're working with the state funding agency, which is the California Department of Natural Resources, to get those agreements in place. So they'll be giving the city the money and we'll be passing it through to the contractor who will be doing the algae harvesting pilot project. The Moss Davis project started a couple of weeks ago. They did the sidewalk work. So we're hoping to get the paving going. We're moving into a little bit warmer weather next week, and it's better for getting the asphalt down. So we're hoping we can get that finished up before the weather turns too much. Then the last thing I wanted to mention, related to our regional housing allocations. As you know, we've been working on that with Lake Area Planning Council, City of Lakeport, and the county. We submitted a methodology to the state. They rejected it. We had to come back. It's a little concerned with some of the discussions we had with the group initially, but we really stressed that the feeling is that we have a very high percentage of the lower income tier of housing here, and we shouldn't be continually forced to have the highest percentage. It should be shared, and we really need to focus on higher income tiers of housing as well. And we actually put a fair amount of work into putting data together that proved that that was very much the case, that we have a much higher percentage in those categories. Unfortunately, the city of Lakeport and the county were very accommodating of that and agreed to a methodology that we put together that shifted a higher percentage of the overall allocation of moderate and above moderate income units in Clear Lake than they were receiving. So I still think overall the number of units that the state is telling us we have to produce is entirely unachievable. But it does make me feel a little bit better that we're should be making some progress in the allocations, at least on more market rate housing in Clear Lake, which I know is a priority for all. So with that, that's my report.
Thank you, City Manager Flora. That's, I think we're all disappointed with the overall number for the county, but I'm glad that Lakeport and the county agreed to give us a little bit higher.
We still have to get confirmation that the state approves our methodology, but hopefully they will this time.
What happens if they don't?
They'll just tell us how they want us to calculate it, I guess.
Why I would go through the.
Because we have to. Thank you, City Manager. We'll start with, which end do we want to start on? Start with Councilmember Downey.
I don't have much to report. I think the only thing is the Golden State Water Company donating money for turkeys, and I think the council decided to split that between the senior center and Canocti Unified School District. So we did a photo op last week. I think it was last week. All these weeks blur. So yeah, it was great because then we had our seniors, the benefit from it, getting fresh turkey, and then also the children of the city too. So it was good. It was a good cause.
I would agree. Councilmember Wilson.
I attended the PEG TV meeting on Monday. They reviewed the budget. They didn't have any update on the podcast program with Kingdom Games. They're trying to finalize the youth videography project in December. And they've moved forward with the Lakeport City Hall project, which is to, PEG TV actually does the technology for Lakeport City Hall. And the station manager said that they had a busy month. He's been working on the project of interviewing elders from the Circle of Native Minds. And he said they just reached a total of 1,000 videos. And one more thing was that I was appointed to the League of Cities 2026 Advancing Equity Committee. So I will be reporting on that as well.
Congratulations on that. Councilmember Newton,
I have nothing to report.
thank you. Vice Mayor Slug.
I have nothing to report either.
Yeah, you're trying to put together what I want to report. One thing, clerk, which I serve on as a board member, has come to an agreement for a lease on the Carnegie Library property at $1 a month. And we'll be putting together basically a museum of the lake and the aqua culture and the flora and fauna around the lake, which will be kind of, hopefully will be pretty interesting at some point in time. I was also today I had a grant, RRA grants best fit subcommittee meeting, and I was kind of surprised. We got a pretty good list of a lot of grant opportunities out there that maybe we might be able to make some use of going forward. And last but not least, this Saturday, we have the Winter Festival here in Clear Lake. Starts at 11, I think, and goes through 6:30 or night, culminates with the lighting of the Christmas tree here. It'd be nice if everybody can get out there. I know some of us will be out of town, but it'd be great to see anybody that's in town to stop by and support that. In fact, this weekend, there's a lot of activities, so, but that's one here in Clear Lake. And that's all I have. So we'll move on to future agenda items. Any council members have any future items that they would like to see whether the rest of the council would support them on?
I'd like to bring back up the seat for the city on the continuum of care board.
Okay. Don't think that needs to be. You and I talked about that, city manager. What did we come up with on that?
Well, I mean, it needs to be added to the list of mayor appointments and then approved.
Yeah.
I mean, I did talk to Supervisor Sabatier about it, and you know, we could talk about it. But I mean, my thought was that we just included in next year's appointments at this point, but
I think that would be the cleanest, quickest. Vice Mayor Slaughter.
We still have to update the Promise program. That's got to be on the agenda at some point in time. I hope.
that is true. Thank you for reminding me.
So you'll take care of that. All right, anybody else? All right. Yeah, seeing none, we will thank everyone who took the time to submit their comments via Zoom, and for those that watching the meeting on YouTube or here in chambers. We'll now adjourn the meeting to closed session at 7:33.